And something to hear. The Leviathan Sorrow. Red Plague. I do think I've read that one. Well, time to read books. For over a year I studied the cursed plague, collecting and dissecting rats by the thousands, giving their rapid gestation and maturation cycle. It has been possible to breed them for numerous generations. The rodents themselves seem immune to the plague, but they have passed it readily between members of their own species, perhaps through mates. The blood of the rats tells its own story, allowing me to gauge the number of generations that a given group of rats have lived with the plague. As such, a nagging question remains. The rats collected the poorest part of town in the slums exhibits the oldest stains of the plague, while those found near the docks, where the foreign plague-bearing rats were presumably have entered the city, exhibit a younger strain of plague. Could this mean that the rats were transported to the slums in some way that is not obvious? I will continue my research. If nothing else, I'm a living proof that Sokolov's elixir and Pierre's remedy are very effective at protecting against the plague, if one consumes enough of the stuff. Well, the more wounded I get and the more mana I use, I'm gonna consume a lot of it, if that's the case. Now, let's read the books first. Let's start with the one out here. The Leviathan Sorrow. Little is known of Pocati, credited with a series of pamphlets arguing against the whaling trade. While he is gifted, his views are nonsense and threaten the economy underpinning of the empire. 1. Enslavement. On the breeding and husbanding of whales versus hunting the beasts in the wild. After a natural and free life cycle, Patisi offers no solution for where these massive malevolent creatures might be pastured. The solution. The means of the destruction of the social bonds between herd members. Pacati actually used the term families. 3. Harmony. Thrill on the aesthetic wonder of what is. In reality, the great and terrible ocean that ever threatens to swallow us, including arguments on the gentle nature of the brutes. A nation refuted by seamen who return to shore, wide-eyed with the tales of the whale's savagery. Disruption. Here, Pocati, on his weakest footing, issuing a previous warning against the displacement or transfer of natural beasts from their native environments. Considering the fact that that is actually pretty dangerous to do. I don't think it's his weakest footing. It's actually him who's just ahead of you. Way ahead of you. Now, rat behavior and extermination. Used to be, you got out with a bang, a stick with a nail on the end, and catch a stick with a nail on the end, and catch as many rats as you could in a night. The city was paid by weight. My husband Benjamin and I mostly worked alone, and we got by. If we found a place where the rats were real bad, sometimes we hired a crew of street brats to work with us. The younger ones who didn't make trouble, we paid them with bread and apple cider. Once the plague came, the rats were different, meaner, bigger, and a little quicker, and you had to watch yourself. If you got cornered, they turned and the swarm would come back at you. I barely got away with my skin a few times down in the sewers. The bites hurt afterward, but it was the soundest they made that stayed in the dreams at night. I got more dangerous, and the city would start paying better. But that didn't last long, because after a while too many people have been stripped clean trying to fill up a bag. One slip and they be all over you. No gnamming and trying to chew down to the bone. That's how I lost my poor Benji.
Obviously the plague rat is distinct from the ordinary rat, but in what respect? Its size and the coarseness of its fur, and I believe in intelligence, although the experiments there are not complete. Coriander's zoological survey describes only the ordinary rat, which means plague rats have only been here for 5 or 7 years at most. This was not a gradual migration. Could they have been introduced on purpose? Perhaps by a foreign power.
Well, from this it seems obvious that the rats have come here by other means than simple transportation. It would make sense for a foreign power who wanted to weaken it by introducing rat plague, kind of like biological warfare, and that's been around the globe. This is how you get in to his secret place. And we're gonna bring this along. Haha, I'm gonna close myself in. Well. Sewer capacity in the month of nets. I have been asked to tell the problem, so here it is. It has been every year that we worked like men gone mad during the month of nets. I don't hardly see my family. It's bad enough that the works is clogged with the trash from the cats, pieces of crates and nets, but the water smells of hackbits. We got to get it done before the month of rain, or you know what. And it ain't like we get help from those pricks in civil engineering either. Been at this job for 28 years, and I never seen one of them come below, except to measure will it hold when they are putting up one of those fancy new bridges. So those last 3 years been the worst, and here's why. It's the river crust moved into the works. We hear a man ahead yell and scream like he's burning up, and we all climb up fast. No other choice. I still haven't found the code to that. Let's see. Well, back to that save. I think I remember now what the combination is. It's right here in the mission clue. The most important day of Dr. Galvani's life is 287. And that's of course the combination. Let's get down there.
We got a prowler on the loose.
More guards. Should I let them live or should I kill them? I'm in good mood, so I'm gonna let them live, unless they come up here. They don't appear like it. I think there was a door out. Up here. Yes. Well, let's take this one out. I've been a little too high up. Well, no matter. And this is another way into this area. From down here. But now back to this alley down here. And over here to the still we need to poison, which is right this way.